Great. Thank you so much, Nicholas. How are you all doing, Malaysia?
Great.
Great. So, thank you. So, today is my story sharing. So, I thought that I will just talk. But then looking at all the slides, I just prepared my slides. Right, so, try to share my journey and story. So before I start my Kangen journey, I want to say how actually everything started. I was, like he said, three and a half years ago, I was actually working for Amazon.com. It was right after my college, my university degree. That was also, something crazy that happened. My result from the exam, my college degree exam, right, was the day after. It was on 9th May, I still remember. And on 8th May 2013, I actually got placed in Amazon. It was also, my friend was working there, so he said, "You must work here, come check it out." I said, "Okay, fine." So when the interview got selected, and but I was worried because in my exam result, one subject I was thinking would go, I'll fail in one subject. So if I fail, I don't get the job, right? So I passed. I got the job. I started as an associate, as an entry-level job, and within 3 years, I got promoted 4 times in a company where the people who joined with me are still in the same post after 6 years. Yeah, and it was 2016 January. It was actually on a Friday. On a Friday, because I was looking for something better. I got promoted 4 times. I was traveling all over with Amazon, but I was not fulfilled because I was working hard, giving all my energy and stuff, like for this amazing man. Can somebody help me? Okay, so yeah, that's me. Yeah. So next. Oh no. I mean, yeah. Thank you. So. That was supposed to be the last slide, but then it came to the first slide somehow. So, you all know him, right?
Yes.
My ex-boss.
Yes.
I met him a couple of times. So, next. So this was me actually. It was when we joined Amazon. So these are my friends who joined along around that time. The one on the extreme left, he left the company in the same day. He left the company. Like, he was not for him. Then the friend in the middle, he worked there for 1 year, and now he's in the US, he's studying. And that's me. I worked there for 3 years, right? So it was actually for me more of, an experience to learn, to get trained. And I was once I was handling over 150 associates in the flow, and I was looking for an opportunity. I was looking for something better because I know this is not my best. I was getting paid peanuts. And I was looking for, there's something called as internal job posting within Amazon where you can get transferred to another, another office. So I was looking to relocate to Seattle, to the US, and I applied for a position. And the best thing is, actually not the best thing, the thing is, I got through. And it was on a Friday, it was an interview, and we got done, and then guess what happened on the Saturday? I met Samsia and Mingwei, right? Mr. Sam and Mingwei, I met them on Saturday, and I saw the demo, I saw the business plan, and they introduced me to the EKW because EKW is happening on the Sunday. So they said, come for the EKW on the Sunday. So went attended the EKW, and that evening I said, Sam, I'm doing Kangen. Right? This is what I'm doing. So now if I'm doing Kangen, thank you. If I'm doing Kangen, I have to quit my job, right? Because I either do 100% or I don't do it at all. Right? That's me in everything. So I had to quit my job. So one day I go to my manager and I tell her, Richa, her name, say, I'm putting my papers down. She looks up at me. She's like, what? Are you crazy? I'm typing your review to send it to the managers to Seattle. Right? And you're saying you want to quit your job? I said, yeah, I found something better. And I didn't know what I was getting into, but I just know that I could trust them. I know that the company is proven, and I believe in myself. So I started, and so next. So I was about to catch a plane to go to Seattle next. This was the place that I would be working, which is not mine. But because I made the decision and I started 3.5 years later, this is what happened to me. Next. This is the place I'll be living in the next 2 months, this one. And this is the place after 2 years we'll be moving into that apartment, which will be mine. This is now. Next. So how many of you all would like to live something and have something for yourselves? Change your life drastically. Chances are if I'm in Amazon, thank you. If I'm in Amazon, I'll be getting a little bit more than what I was getting in Seattle, but then expenses, cost of living and all that, probably this wouldn't happen. And the best thing that happened to me was I'm spending more time with my family than I've ever did in my 3.5 years of Amazon, right? So that's happened. So now, from my experience, I want to share my lessons that I learned from my Kangen journey that I feel really will help all of you. So the most important thing in the Kangen business is the beginning. The beginning is very, very important. So when we start, right, I'll tell you what I did basically, because I saw the demo, we bought the product, because that time Enagic India was not open, so we had to buy from Malaysia and take the machine there. So my father was sitting right here, came all over, picked up the machine, and brought over to India, and that was end of January. So first week of February is Chinese New Year. So Mr. Sam and our lovely family, Ms. Cora, they had to fly back to KL, and I was there, and they had a small office area where they do demos. That was free. So I asked Sam, I have 4 of my friends, can I do the demo? And he said, yeah, use the place, no problem. So I invited 4 of my friends. One of them is sitting here, right? From the 4 of them, 2 of them bought the machine. I'll tell you about the one person who's sitting here. Ashim, could you please stand for all of us? Everybody say hi, Ashim. Right here. He's an amazing friend. The last 10 years we've known each other, right? And he's one of them who didn't buy the machine that time, right? But what happened here, just to go out of my slides, follow up 7 times or more. Right? After 3.5 years, this is his first exposure to Kangen, like EKW and training. Right? Can we give him a big round of applause for making that decision? Thank you, Ashim, for really trusting me. So the first thing is have a clear and a big why. For me, my why was to provide the best for my family, because I grew up in a family where money was always a problem. Like my dad was in business, my mom was in insurance, so the income always used to go up and down and up and down. It was not always constant, and always there used to be talks about money. But the thing with Amazon, the salary was not enough to cover my own expenses. How can I take care of my family? Right? So for me was to provide the best for my family. So because whenever you have doubts in your business, if your why is weak, right, you will give up too soon. There's a saying that bigger the why, easier the how. Many people get stuck in the how, but they forget the why. So have a big enough why for you to get through the obstacles and go through. Next. And the second, the most important thing is don't wait for your upline to start supporting you. If they're there, very good. Take their support because you learn from them. But if they're not there, don't wait for them. Okay, my upline will come now, my upline will come now. Because this is your business. You take responsibility. Let's say you invested 200,000 ringgit and you have a shop. Will you be waiting for the one who gave you the idea to come and support you? You will do whatever it takes, right? So don't wait for your upline to start supporting. Start doing it because you understand that what you have and information will really help and change people's lives. Have that confidence, because people who you really invite initially are the people in your close circle, people who trust you. So they will not see, it's not that they will see what you're doing, they'll see why you're doing it. Right? They'll see, are you confident with what you're doing? Right? Are you sure about what you're doing? Right? They will not see, are you giving the right information? No? They'll just say, hey, can I believe in you? Can I trust in you? Right? So get started. I mean, that's the biggest mistake. I see people waiting all the time and they don't like to move. And next. And yeah, practice. Right? Practice, keep on practicing. That build up the confidence. Right? Like I think one of our speakers said that, she got all wet, the demo cups were all over the place. Right? That's true, that's like real, you must start like that. Right, so this is the first and important point. You guys learning something from here?
Yes.
Next. Yeah, next. Make mistakes early. It's very important for us to get done with the mistakes, because what happens is when you get done with the mistakes early, right? Basically, you won't discourage yourself, right? You need to face and handle the biggest objection. Do you know what the biggest objection is? Not your customer telling no to you. It is you selling yourself to you. Telling your little voice, telling yourself, I'm not good enough. You know, oh, this person told no to me, or maybe this is not for me. You know, so that's the biggest objection that you face. So handle that objection. How you can handle it is by practicing and doing it. The best way how I did was I called my friend, hey, I've started a new business. I need a lot of support, right? And I'm practicing this. So are you okay to sit with me and just see while I'm practicing? That's it, right? So that's the thing. Face and handle the biggest objection. Second, next. Yeah, you selling yourself to you, very important. Next. Yeah, this is very, very important. Learn. The learning never stops. You keep learning all the time. When I started initially, I was actually investing more than 40 to 50% of my time in just reading books, watching YouTube videos regarding Kangen, regarding product, or the business, and sales. Because I'm not from sales background. Although I was in Amazon, I was at the back end, the desk kind of a thing, training, but never in sales. So need to improve ourselves, right? So I see a lot of people seeing like this, watch a video and they're like, I know all about it, right? Because there's a saying that when you get introduced to something, you're just introduced to it, right? So I just want to share with you this part, which is very valuable. So the first step is you get introduced to Kangen, right? The second step is you learn. By doing that, what you do is you actually master it. And once you master something, right, then what it leads to is a reward. But what's happening these days is people get introduced and they directly jump to this. But this is how things work. Like you're introduced, you learn, then by learning and you practice, you master. There's a saying, every master was once a disaster. My friend just told me yesterday, my first demo that I gave, he said, Hemanth, you've gone up millions of times, like in terms of your delivery, right? Didn't you say this?
Yeah.
So, every master was once a disaster. I'm still improving, I'm still learning, right? So we all are. So do that, because you may be a master at X, Y, Z, but for you to get master at a specific thing like Kangen, which is new, you need to practice and learn. Then you get the reward. So, is this something?
Yes.
Nice? Yeah? Okay. Thank you. Next. Get uncomfortable. You have to get uncomfortable. Because all the things that you're very good at right now were once uncomfortable for you. Would you agree with me?
Yep.
Yes? It's like that, right? Initially when people say, hey, I'm not able to do this, it's natural. Baby doesn't just stand up and start walking, right? It's uncomfortable, falls a lot of times, then tries to stand up and walk. It's the same way, right? So get uncomfortable. Forget taking rest when you're going 10x. I mean, when you're going all out, right? You feel like I need some rest. You know, for me, it was morning. I used to wake up morning at 7 o'clock, go on demo, meetings, and I don't know who I'm meeting. I'm just meeting people, you know, like from my contacts, and then I come back home by 12 o'clock. I did that straight for like over a year and a half. So forget taking rest, because I learned this thing that, you know, when you rest, right, you lose momentum. And Belinda amazingly said that the currency of this business is momentum, which I didn't know like until like very recently. But I just know that go for it. So forget taking rest and going to next. Be willing to take risks you've never taken. Because understand one thing, that when you take a higher risk, the reward is higher as well, right? So be willing to take risks that you've never taken. Next. Yeah, this is very important. Not so many next. 1 minute. Yeah, not everyone will finish the cross line. Understand one thing, the people who join with you initially, they won't be there with you all the while. They may sometimes drop out because their why is so sometimes weak, not as good enough, not as big enough as how your why is. So the important thing for you to do is, next, remember your why and the power you have in your hands to change millions of people's lives. I always remember myself when I feel a little bit demotivated. I'm like, I even heard this from Sam recently. I said, Sam, you're very successful. Why are you still doing the business? You know what he said? He said, Hemanth, it's not the money anymore. It's the power that I have in my hand that can help change millions of people's lives. So thank you, Sam, for sharing that. That's the thing. Yeah, this is very important. Be positive. You heard this a lot, right? Be positive, don't be negative, be positive. Now, I'm not talking about yourself being positive. I'm talking about yourself being a source of positivity for your team as well. Whenever your team comes to you, right, you be a source of positivity, encourage them, embrace them, motivate them, give them a lending hand, right? Don't spread negativity downwards. If you have something bad to share, keep it to yourself or take advice from your uplines. Right? You only be a source of positivity. Every time my team comes to me, they tell me one thing, Hemanth, how is that you're always calm, you're always like positive? Because it should be like that. Or else imagine your team is a reflection of who you are. Imagine if you're just sharing negativity all the time. What will happen to your team? Become negative, the vibe spreads, and sooner or later you'll be seeing a team that's like completely negative, doing things that they're not supposed to be doing. So yeah, your team is a reflection of who you are. Have a responsibility that you're of a business owner. You are a business owner. Now, like what Belinda said is that, remember that I'm always there for you, for the team, right? So the same way, I always tell my team that I'm always there for you. We will not give up on you unless you give up on yourself. So the reason is because, let's say in a family, right? Let's say when your family needs you the most, will you be there for them? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. No answer. yes, right? So have responsibility of that of a business owner. Treat your business like it's a family, right? Like treat it like how you would treat your mother, sister, or daughter. Not like shouting at them, yelling at them, not that. I mean like love them, care for them, be there to support them. Yep. Next. Be creative. It's very important for you to be creative because what happens is, let's say if there is a system that's working, like something like this where you can just put in people here, bring them in for events. This works, right? So you use this. But sometimes what happens in cities where things like this don't happen, you need to become creative to be able to create such systems for your people, right? So don't try to reinvent the wheel if it's working for you, but if it's not working for you, if it's not working, then test and measure. Test something. Test and measure. Measure if it really works. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work, test something. And then before doing something, just check with the uplines. Just say, hey, I'm going to plan this right now. Most of the time, the uplines say, hey, try it out. Or if it's not, if they've tried it and if it's failed, they say, hey, be careful. They give you warnings and all that, right? So if it's not working, you need to be able to do something. Okay. Now this is very heart-touching. Mr. Oshiro's message. Now always, I keep talking about this to my team about Mr. Oshiro. Mr. Oshiro is actually a gem of a person. Like from all the people that I've seen, he's only giving, right? So that's something that we're talking about. Compassion. With compassion, we can actually change the world. Right? With passion, you can just change your world. You're passionate, you can do things, you are very great at it. But with compassion, what I mean to say is helping others. And I used to always think that, hey, helping others is, I have a machine that helps people like with their health conditions and all that, right? But sooner or later, I started realizing that for me, it is actually, if I want to be more successful, if I want to be good at what I'm doing even better and better, right? Instead of just taking care of their health, it's also important to take care of their wealth as well, right? So, it's very important to do it with team, because they say teamwork makes the dream work. Right? Do it with a team, not just alone. So build a team and keep them together. So how many of you here, you don't like to sell by show of hands? Don't like to sell, or the word sell, you hate the word sell. It's okay, nothing wrong with that, right? So is it okay if I share with you a small something of value that actually helped you see selling in a different way? Yeah? So, next. Now, so this is the word sell, right? Now, if you don't like it, how about, are we okay to try a new word instead of sell? Yes?
Yes.
Instead of sell, how about this word? Help. Is that empowering?
Yes.
Help, right? So I want all of you to say this along with me. Next slide. I help people.
I help people,
Not sell people.
not sell people.
Can we say it again? I
help
People, not sell people.
Again.
I help people, not sell people.
Once more, twice as loud.
I help people, not sell people.
Thank you so much. Give yourself a round of applause. You help people in all aspects. Be it queries on the product, be it queries on the business, be there for them. Next. Now, this is the last slide. So, when you do all of this, you work hard, build a team and all that, at the end of the day, many people forget to do this very important thing. To have fun. Because why? Why is it important to have fun? It's not that, hey, you pay a lot of money, go splurge, enjoy. No, it's because it gives you a sense of reward. Remember this reward I'm talking to you about? Right? So, how can you feel a reward? Like, what kind of reward can you get? It's a feeling, right? So, how do you get a sense of fulfillment or reward? When you have fun, right? Doing the business, and even after the business, reward yourself. Reward yourself. Because when you reward yourself, you'll remember this reward, and you'll be willing to take even more actions than what you took before. So with that, I think I've been able to share my Kangen journey with all of you, and I hope this added value to all of you. Did it?